Assalamu alaikum. Jazakallah khairan for the lecture.
Where is this coming from? Okay.
So maybe this question ties back to the question of the brother with the child. But before that, that phase, my question is more about finding the right partner in the West. So,
Oh, snap.
say it again. So do you have having 6 children yourself, how do you, how did you go about being raised as well in the West and in a probably society where there are more Muslims in New York than in Zurich? Do you have any tips or tricks how to go about this question? Jazakallah khair.
I keep them in my wallet. Hold on. Listen, boss, this is being streamed online. My wife is watching. Tips or tricks? Are you kidding me? Next question. Yeah. Sure. Sure. Okay. I hope it doesn't become a minaret debate, honestly. But what we do need, let me tell you what we do need. Let's change the conversation a little bit. What we do need are places where Muslims can have intelligent conversations about their faith like this one, where people can voice their positions like this one, where families can feel comfortable with each other. This is what the new masjid will look like. The masjid will not be a place for men. It will not be a separate closet for women. The masjid will be a place, the mosque will be a place where families can go and interact with each other. And as a matter of fact, the mosque will be a place where even non-Muslim families can come and ask questions and have lunch with their Muslim neighbors. That is the model of Islam in the West, which actually will revive the model of Islam in Medina. That's the original model. And we have an opportunity to start from scratch. We can actually present a humane model of Muslim community from the West to the rest of the world. We have a great opportunity. We have a fantastic opportunity. You know, my children go into the masjid every time I go, I take my kids with me. If I was living in Pakistan, would that be easy? Not in some places, no. No. And there are people from different backgrounds, different schools of thought, different ethnicities, different physical appearances, different clothes, all standing in one line at our masjids. Is that possible in some places in the Muslim world? No. If you're not wearing a certain kind of uniform, your masjid is down the street, right? The conversation is not about whether or not we need to have minarets. The conversation is whether or not we need to have functional centers of community activism, where community can build, where families can get to know each other, where you can become contributors to society. My children, for example, my wife just started doing this a month ago. We go over and we feed the poor in downtown Dallas every week. They pack boxes, they distribute them. This is not a Muslim organization. They go do this for the Dallas community. You guys, part of our obligation as Muslims is to help those in need around us. Muslim or not, doesn't matter. Muslim or not. If there is a charitable organization, it doesn't matter if it's Muslim or not, be a part of it. That's part of your Islam. You have to do that. You have to help people, you know. It's not just about preaching. It's far bigger than that. It's actually about helping humanity. That's what a Muslim community does. You know? Yes. Yes. Yes, yes. Hold on. Take it, hold it. Yeah.
What would your advice be to somebody who's working in scientific research, which is very topical, and looking at things like the origins of the universe, where your actual research is pure scientific, but you're surrounded by a team of people who are looking to defy God and astaghfirullah, and they have beliefs that are sort of against your beliefs.
Sure.
What would your advice be to somebody who works in such a team?
You could. Okay.
Just take a step beyond. So we're talking about more about life in West. So Madafra brothers live in places where they don't have access to basic amenities, say in some many Muslim countries. People suffer from diseases and many ailments, but they don't have basic access to medicine. Say for example, Islam teaches to learn and improve the knowledge from nature. But being a Muslim, I myself see it's not being taught or spread so much in Islamic culture that science is being important, so that now every country is dependent on Western world for medicines. People die somewhere in Syria.
Sure.
They don't have access to antibiotics or, for example, some vaccines. So I always see people trying to focus more on improving the livelihood in West. It's great. Apart from that, there's something as Ummah, we have to go beyond being more self-reliant. This is where our Israeli thoughts, your thoughts, which might help us to reach the stage where we are.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for your valuable comments. As for the first is concerned, when you get into higher academics, obviously you're going to find people that have a pretty strong bias against any sort of faith tradition or any sort of theology, right? And the concept of God is actually an object of ridicule in most higher studies across the sciences, scientific or none, right? And I argue that that is actually one of the toughest battlefields for people of faith, not just Muslims. Christians, Jews, people of faith, and in particular Muslims too. That's actually an ideological battlefield. And the people who will survive it, and if you're in it, congratulations to you, and I pray that you survive it. Because your faith is going to be challenged every single day you walk into the university, every single day you sit in the lab, every single day you interact with your partners, in work. It's going to be challenged. You need a support mechanism. You need someone to reinforce your faith. My personal recommendation for people here in higher studies whose faith is challenged on a philosophical or ideological basis is to connect with intellectuals, Muslim intellectuals that have already gone through this. And alhamdulillah, now we have some of those intellectuals that have gone through these philosophical struggles and are now able to become a resource for them. Okay. Now, if, for instance, personally, one of my mentors, I have a few mentors. One of them is an older brother to me almost. His name is Brother Adnan Rahman, who's doing his PhD in the philosophy of science out of Boston University, who's already done one PhD, he's doing his second one now. And another one, yeah, mashallah. And then I have another one who actually his PhD thesis was on Newton, Isaac Newton, and his faith origins. Like the philosophical or the theological beliefs he carried. He just published his thesis out of Duke University. Alhamdulillah, his name is Salman Sheikh. So there are people that are out there that can become mentors to you guys that are in higher studies. Someone like me can't be. These are people that I see as mentors when it comes to bigger philosophical issues, right? But you need them. We need an intellectual basis that can be a support group for others in that basis. Now, as far as your question is concerned, I personally don't even, I would go one step further from what you said. What your comment was that we have to emphasize the role of scientific discovery in making the ummah more self-reliant. I argue that the Muslims are religiously obligated to make the world hunger-free, to make the world pollution-free, to make the world, the water supplies of the world cleaner. These are, scientific infrastructure problems that can be solved, and we're actually, from an Islamic perspective, obligated to fight against these problems. A lot of times people think that Muslims are supposed to only take care of other Muslims, or the rest of the ummah suffering, etc. Yes, and the rest of the world. And right now there's no distinction. People aren't suffering because they're Muslim. People are suffering because governments are corrupt, and unrestricted greed has allowed certain corporations to destroy local infrastructure and economies for so many places in Africa, for so many places in Asia. People are suffering, and we have to, your studies are supposed to be, how will you make the world a better place? And this is a good part for me to end because my hunger is now uncontrollable, but I will make this comment, and please take this comment to heart. This is a view I hold very dear to my heart. I believe that the Muslims in this audience in particular, I'm talking to you guys, Whatever education you're pursuing, maybe your parents wanted you to do it. Maybe you think it's going to be good money when you pursue this career. Stop thinking along those lines. You should be pursuing a career at the highest caliber possible, and your agenda, your thought should be, how does this make the world a better place? Whose phone is that? That's that one over there. Oh, the guy with the recorder. Put it on plane mode, dude. You record. Anyway, your study should be about, how am I going to contribute to the world? How will this help someone? How will this help someone? You ask yourself that. If your answer to your question, when I'm doing my studies, well, it's an interesting field. And your answer to that question is, well, my mom said I should be a doctor. If that's the answer to that question, then you're wasting the great gift God gave you. Allah gave you a profound gift. He gave you an educational opportunity so many Muslim youth don't enjoy. He gave you an economic opportunity so many you don't enjoy. How will you give back? Not just to the ummah, but to the world. How will you give back? When the Muslims start becoming people that give back, then we won't have to fight stereotypes against Muslims. We won't have to anymore. Because Allah says to us, "Kuntum khayra ummatin ukhrijat linnas." You are the best of people for the service of mankind, for mankind, not of mankind. The verse doesn't say you are the best of humanity. Nope. It says you are the best suited for humanity, which means what makes you the best is that you serve. And if you don't serve, then you're the worst. And literally, and if you don't serve, you're the worst. يَسْتَبْدِلْ قَوْمًا غَيْرَكُمْ ثُمَّ لَا يَكُونُوا أَمْثَالَكُمْ. He will replace you with another nation and they won't be useless like you. He just says it. He just says it outright. إِن تَتَوَلَّوْا يَسْتَبْدِلْ قَوْمًا غَيْرَكُمْ ثُمَّ لَا يَكُونُوا أَمْثَالَكُمْ. We have to think about serving the world. We have to stop letting our personal agendas go. And think of the service to humanity as an act of service to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's what we're supposed to do. I pray that this conversation was of some benefit for you. I know I didn't get to address everybody's questions, but seriously, I can't think, right now I just see pizzas. Okay, I haven't even had breakfast, so I'm dying here. But for those of you whose questions I did not get to answer, I apologize, and I also would love to hear your questions. Even if I don't get a chance to respond to them, I would love to hear your questions or read your questions. Here's my email address. I don't know why I'm doing this. Can you cut the feed online? Your bread? No. That's really nice. Is it good? Is it Swiss? Is it Asian bread? I came to Switzerland to have Asian bread. That is my risk. Yes, I will enjoy this. Thank you so much. I'm still not extending the question and answer session. Nice try. Nice try. Keep doing that. I'm not, no. Wait. My email address. Huh? Come up and ask. Arabic with Husna is how I teach Arabic online. If you guys don't know, Bayyinah.tv, you can check out the website. BAYYINAH.tv. Here's my email address. Arabic, what a surprise. Arabic@Bayyinah.com. If you don't know how to spell Bayyinah, go pray 2 rak'ah and make istighfar and slaughter an animal after stunning it to make up for it. Bayyinah. Bayyinah actually means clear. This is email personal. Nobody else reads that except me. Please don't go before I take a photo. Oh no, that's not going to start, is it? Okay, so if you guys still have questions, come up and ask so that we can let the rest of the people off the hook. Barakallahu li wa lakum. Thank you once again so very much. I really enjoyed myself. I hope you guys did too. Take care. See you next time, inshallah.